lineup here for heat race number 1. Andy Obertello out of Hollister in the 29, the 28H. The Manteca driver who races here quite often, Daryl Hughes, will start on the outside front row.
Second row inside the Cap Air System, Select Harvest Awe Racing number 28, Shaw Chassis from nearby Atwater, Chase Awe. He will start third, starting in fifth. Also out of Atwater, Mike Shepard and the Bills Towing, AW Construction, F&D Motorsports sponsored GRT.
Well, your winner of this race 1 year ago, the Friday night portion of the Dirt Nationals, the 5L from Torrance is Cody Laney. To his outside the 84 is Merced's Robbie Jepson.
Starting seventh, fourth row inside the Pajaro Valley Fabrication, Sanchez Motorsports, Coastal Manufacturing Incorporated, number 01 Harris out of Aromas, Raymond Kelton Jr. To his outside, lining up P8, it'll be Bakersfield's own, the American Well Control, Terry Henry Race Prep, Wilson Pump, number 51G, running a GRT chassis, Gavin Manning. 8 cars, 8 laps, heat race number 1 of 3 for the IMC Modifieds. And we also want to welcome our live viewing audience on Facebook, this live look-in. If you haven't ordered your pass, this is night number 1 of 2 of the John Ford and Bob Smith Memorial Dirt Nationals. Log on to imca.tv, sign up for the whole weekend. It's some of the best racing action, not in just the Shaw Race Cars Western Region, KMJ Performance California State action, but throughout the Speedway Motors IMC Weekly Racing Program right here at Merced Speedway in Central California.
Well, Ben Detheridge, great to have you here in Merced, California. My name is Stephen Blakesley, the voice of the Ocean Speedway in Watsonville, California. And it's really cool to be a part of a big event for the second year in a row at Merced Speedway under the promotion of Doug Lockwood and S&S Promotions. For those of you just tuning in on Facebook, we had wet weather, some big-time rain this morning, and some big-time rain throughout the week, and then it took a long time to taper off. The S&S crew worked their absolute tails off to get this track ready. It was being described as a Mississippi mud bog at about 5 p.m., and by 7:30 or so, we were into heat races, so they got onto it rather quickly. We've just gotten through our hobby stock heat races, and now our 22 IMCA Modifieds are set to compete, and that first heat race has some hitters in it with drivers like Cody Laney, and we'll see him go to work here in just a moment.
And Cody Laney is the driver we were alluding to, the Super Nationals winner in Iowa less than 2 months ago. Had an excellent, he was the runner-up in the Dakota Classic Mod Tour in the summer. He won the Jerry Shannon Memorial here for the season opener on March 27th, and the defending champion of this race. And of this corresponding fixture, right? The Friday night winner?
Yes, yes, the Friday night winner, and getting ready to get these drivers into position for this heat race. And you get a lot of great racing when you subscribe on IMCA TV, because we got 4 divisions, the Sport Modifieds, the fast-growing IMCA stock car program here in California. And I think for some of the fans of IMCA racing across the country, that's a class that probably intrigues you to see it growing on the western side of the country. Of course, that class doing so well in other parts of the nation.
Yeah, the Sunoco IMCA stock cars, the class too tough to tame. We've got about 16 of them. I know that some people might roll their eyes like only 16, but there's 16 really good cars. And the Carl Customs IMC Northern Sport Mods, 29 drivers signing in tonight, and some top quality drivers throughout the KMJ Performance California scene here at Merced Speedway for night number 1 of 2 of the John Ford and Bob Smith Memorial Dirt Nationals.
All right, we'll go green the next time around. I think they're still talking it over, and we do see the lights extinguish on the Christmas tree in turn number 1. So Andy Obertello out of Hollister, Daryl Hughes out of Manteca make up that front row.
Hughes champion here in 2018. Obertello, the 2013 Ocean Speedway Modified Track champion.
Field picking up the pace through 3 and 4, 8 strong. Top 5 will transfer on. And we see a green flag, which is a great sign and a great start for that 28 ride. Daryl Hughes leads them into turn number 1.
Daryl Hughes the second up on the bars, and he's going to rock it away from the rest of the field. Andy Obertello running in second. Third place is Mike Shepard. Chase Awe trying to get underneath them as they go stair-step formation. 3 wide in turns 3 and 4. Chase Awe somehow holds on to position number 3. Mike Shepard, 4. Cody Laney, your top 5 after lap number 1.
Well, Laney had really pulled away from the rest of the group, giving himself a cushion on that 5th and final transfer, but then things got really dicey there through 3 and 4, and Gavin Manning has jumped right up on the back bumper. That's a pretty nice battle for that 5th and final transfer here on lap number 2.
Hughes is has opened up the lead about a second and a half, and it's a single car breakaway from the main body of the field. Obertello is second, Chase Off third, Mike Shepard fourth, Cody Laney fifth, Gavin Manning, Robbie Jepson, and Raymond Kelton Jr. the rest of the running order, as we're 3 laps into this one and 5 to go. Halfway home when they hit the stripe.
No big surprises, everybody up top. The bottom was so treacherous during the wet weather this afternoon, but whoever can figure out the bottom is going to be Superman, and maybe Cody Laney can be the one to do that as he peeks his nose underneath Mike Shepard, and they're going to drag race down the back straightaway. Big run off the corner for Laney and give him spot number 4.
Shepard on the bubble now, Gavin Manning on the inside, putting a lot of pressure on car number 15 as we're 3 laps away from the drop of the checkered flag. This one is all been Daryl Hughes the second. Andy Obertello's in position number 2, followed by Chase Awe, Cody Laney, and still in debate who exactly possesses position number 5. Right now, give the nod to Mike Shepard.
Yeah, Mike Shepard, top 10 performance of the Pat Pettit shootout this year, battling it out with the 51 and Gavin Manning for that 5th and final transfer spot. We'll see the white flag to Daryl Hughes. This time he's got a comfortable margin on Andy Obertello. The top 4 have really separated themselves. Battle for 5th continues.
And we'll keep a close eye on that battle for 5th as they're going to come to the checkered flag this time by exiting turn number 4. It is going to be Daryl Hughes the second, your winner of heat race number 1 of 3 for the IMCA Modifieds. Andy Obertello second, third Chase Awe, fourth Cody Laney, 5th and final transfer. Directly out of this heat race in the main event will be Mike Shepard, Gavin Manning 6th, 7th will be the 84 Robbie Jepson, and Raymond Kelton Jr. rounds up the rest of the finishing order in position number 8. 1 down and 2 to go for the IMCA Modifieds as we're going to try and get Daryl Hughes the second into the infield and maybe grab a quick word with Joe Peterson.
Yeah, Joe Peterson was waiting for him, and we prefer to do it right away. He's going to do a whole other lap around the track, so we'll get him to Peterson. Hopefully, he's taking his sweet time to do that.
A word with heat race number 1 winner Daryl Hughes. Daryl Hughes finally makes his way over. Daryl, you started out front, had a good run, and pretty much kind of checked out in this heat race.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty wet on the bottom. I don't see this track coming in tonight, to be honest with you.
Is it possible maybe any changes you think you're going to have to make to the race car, or you're pretty set on what you got?
Just keep it free. Keep it free and be smart. And Andy was smart at the start, bumping on the bottom and made things really bad. But Andy's a smart guy, and he's got to be smart out there, I think.
All righty, there you have it. Heat race number 1 winner in the Modifieds, Daryl Hughes.
Well, Daryl Hughes said you got to be smart. We'll see who's smart here in heat race number 2 as we take a look at the starting lineup with fireworks going off over the back straightaway. Got the 714 of Rick Diaz out of Los Banos, the 66P of Paul Stone, the fast time qualifier at the Pettit Shootout this year out of Winton.
Starting third, second row inside, the Bill Bauer own number 49 out of Oakley, the Margie's Diamonds, all flow muffler and auto repair, all spec sheet metal GRT of Troy Folger. Starting in position number 4 will be the 07X out of Bakersfield, the Advanced Sign Contractors, Troy Morris Trucking, American Fabrication, Victory Circle Chassis of TM3, Troy Morris III.
Scheduled to start in the 5th position is Bob Williamson, the track champion here from about 20 years ago in car number 3 from Merced. And how about the 174, a busy man tonight, Bakersfield's Ethan Dotson.
The Burke's Upholstery number 20 out of Salinas running a GRT chassis. Cody Burke starts 7th, and it'll be Tim Yeager out of Belmont in the Yeager Dental Supply, Beaver State Dental Services, Rage chassis, 17Y. He lines up 8th.
Yeah, looks like Yeager did not answer the call. We'll see how all the champions row on the inside there with Folger and Burke, some of the big champions in California as of late. Big start for Paul Stone. He motors ahead on Rick Diaz. Your front row starters occupy positions 1 and 2. Troy Morris is up to 3rd.
Paul Stone, 3-time track champion in this venue, Merced Speedway. He shows the leading lap number 1, Rick Diaz, twice a champion here. The Carl Customs IMC Northern Sport Mod ranks as 2nd. And the young man out of Bakersfield, Troy Morris III, runs in position number 3. 2019 champion here, Troy Folger is 4th, and 5th is your current champion, Ocean Speedway, Cody Burke.
Yeah, the 174 of Ethan Dodson made a big bobble coming out of 2 and opened the door wide open for the 20 of Cody Burke, who was happy to go right through that door into the transfer spot. As you see on the scoreboard in turn number 2, 5 laps remaining in this one for Stone, Diaz, Morris, Tricky Troy Folger, and Cody Burke. Those are your 5 in the transfer, all lined up around the top of the Merced Speedway.
Halfway home, 4 down, 4 to go. And just to show you the sheer gravity of the competition here, Ethan Dodson is a former Speedway Motors IMC Super Nationals Field by Casey's champion a couple of years ago, and a 2-time winner of the Harris Clash, one of the biggest races, just a handful of the biggest races, not just in the Shaw Race Cars Western region, but the entire Speedway Motors IMC weekly racing program.
Well, the 174 of Dodson, again with a major bobble on the exit of 2. They got something wrong on the handle of that race car. Meanwhile, things are tightening up. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th down the front straightaway with 2 laps remaining as Diaz and the youngster Troy Morris, the 3rd. You've got company. Cody Burke's trying to make hay on the bottom.
Nearly 3 wide for 3rd as the white flag waves for Paul Stone, the 66B. Rick Diaz is 2nd, 3rd. Troy Morris the 3rd. Troy Folger is 4th, and 5th is Cody Burke. We're going to see how this thing sorts out on this final lap.
Looked like Burke took a look, didn't find anything he liked down there, but Paul Stone's going to like the checkered flag as he wins heat race number 2 for the IMCA Modifieds on the 714 of Rick Diaz. Troy Morris, the 3rd, comes home in 3rd. Tricky Troy Folger, Cody Burke, those cars go to the main event. The 174 of Ethan Dodson, they got to find the handle on that car. And the 3 of Williamson, they're going to go to work from the B main. A race winner, Paul Stone, will be down there trackside with Joe Peterson.
Really quick, we're down here with heat race winner as he gets the helmet off really quick. All right, there we have it. Gets the helmet off, heat race winner. Paul, you rolled in a little bit late here today, and then we seen you jump on the grader. Now you're here and picking up a heat race win here.
Yeah, I hate to see this track like this, you know, but what are we going to do with the rain, right? So we're going to work it as hard as we can all night long and try to give us some good main events tonight. And no rain in the future here for us for tomorrow. We'll have a beautiful track tomorrow.
All righty, there you have it. Paul Stone saying there's a beautiful track coming tomorrow, but he picked up a heat race win here.
Well, and the Winton driver, he was loud and clear on that interview. Sign him up as a broadcaster, for the 66. As we are ready to look at our starting lineup for heat race number 3, and a new driver in the 097 out of San Jose, Eric Van Hooser. And to his outside, the 198, the rebel-rousing Robbie Sawyer out of Bakersfield.
Second row will feature the 22, Robert Marsh out of Salinas, running a jet chassis. He lines up P3. Starting to his outside in 4th, it'll be the Yeager Dental Supply, Jim Breen State Farm Insurance, CPT Racing Manufacturing Rage from South San Francisco, Justin Yeager.
The 2021 West Coast Stock Car Hall of Famer with championships here at Merced and at Antioch and at Watsonville. In the number 6, Jim Pettit, the 2nd out of Prunedale, and to his outside, the 03 of Danny Rowe from Turlock. What a season for Jim Pettit, the 2nd this year, and he'd love to cap that off with a win here tonight.
Looks like a slight adjustment to the original lineup. Looks like Marsh will be inside. Front row, Robbie Sawyer, 2017 KMJ Performance California State Champion. Jim Pettit, the 2nd, champion here this year, champion at Antioch Speedway, and this year's KMJ Performance California State Champ.
Yeah, what a season. Runner-up at Watsonville as well as we get ready to go. And Robert Marsh is going to lead him down. Keep an eye on that rebel-rousing 198 of Robbie Sawyer as we're off to the races. We did get the green, and Sawyer, like a rocket ship, the outside's got to be the place to be on these starts and restarts, and he took advantage of that.
Robbie Sawyer knows how to get around this place, and he knows how to win at this venue. As August 14th this season, he was able to pick up the victory here at Merced Speedway. Robert Marsh is 2nd. It is Justin Yeager 3rd, 4th Jim Pettit the 2nd, and looks like Danny Rowe is your 5th place runner right now.
Yeah, Danny Rowe in that 5th and final transfer spot with a bit of a commanding advantage over Eric Van Hooser. They fan out Merced style 2 and 3 wide. They are starting to work in the bottom just a little bit on the turns 3 and 4 end of the racetrack. Yeager took a peek to the bottom. Pettit swooped around the outside of him, Watsonville style in turn 2. Jim Pettit the 2nd up the 3rd.
Right now, Robbie Sawyer has the luxury of 1.399 seconds over second place Robert Marsh. Jim Pettit the second is third. Fourth is Justin Yeager. Danny Rowe is fifth. And Eric Van Hooser in the Mike Enos own number 097. That team is based out of Manteca, while the driver hails out of San Jose.
It's going to be 3 laps to go this time around for the 198 of Robbie Sawyer, who is absolutely in his own zip code. It's about a half lap advantage for Sawyer over third place. Jim Pettit the second. Best race is that race for the fourth position as they come down the front straightaway. Yeager and Rowe duking it out.
This is the third and final heat race for the IMCA Modifieds as we're 2 away from the drop of the checkered flag. Sawyer starting to catch the back end of Eric Van Hooser in the 097. We may see some lap traffic come into play here for the first time in some of these heat races.
And we'll see lap traffic be a big factor in the main events tonight. Always a factor is up in smoke goes Van Hooser on the final lap. And Robbie Sawyer, he must know about the commanding lead he has because he's just tiptoeing past the 097. Sawyer back on the loud pedal to accept the yellow checkered flag for the 198 of Robbie Sawyer, as that's going to do it for this heat race. 22 of Marsh, the 6 of Pettit, then Yeager, then Danny Rowe will be your 5 transfers and the only 5 to finish.
Yes, unfortunately, Eric Van Hooser not able to come across the start-finish line. We do want to bid an adieu, though, Stephen, to our Facebook Live Look-In audience. It is not too late to sign up for your viewing pass, not just for tonight, but for the whole weekend for the John Ford and Bob Smith Memorial Dirt Nationals. Check it out on imca.tv, and if you missed out on a bunch of IMCA racing throughout the year, check out the imca.tv replay subscription. It's $24.99, $95, I believe, is the price, but you get to watch the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals fueled by Casey's, the Harris Clash, all of the big events throughout the country that are covered by imca.tv, and the best part is 25% of your